engineers, and they merged their business.
The children, Philip, their oldest son, is my son's age, and I haven't seen him, I guess, in a year. I don't know why, because we're right around the corner.
George is older. George, they have a George, and he's in the university.
Where do you skeet shoot around Montgomery?
There's a range out, the G&M range, and then at Lakeside we have a private club, and now Maxwell has a club. So that's what my husband and I shoot shotguns together.
Maybe we ought to investigate doing a story on skeet shooting.
It's fun.
I've only tried that once or twice, going down to the Grand Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't down at the Grand Hotel either.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that? Okay. All right. Now, what we want to do is we want to talk about this whole block area. So I want to ask you, it seems to be some sort of community that's developing here. So really, what's your purpose in having this here, and what do you have here?
Well, I feel, Ivy, that it is sort of like a community. What we are trying to do is show lifestyles, create an atmosphere, not necessarily stepping back. We're presenting the past. We're enjoying the past. And so many of the things that we have here, we feel that people can come in and sort of smell it, taste it, feel it, and see it, enjoy it.
What are some of the specific buildings? I see that you have several that have gone up recently.
We have, and we have some new ones, which I really would like to talk about. And the Shotgun House is a delight. If you come down, you will see the bright yellow building. It was built in 1890. We have just acquired it. It belonged at one time to a mayor of Montgomery, Mayor Moses, I believe. He went bankrupt, and then he had to sell some of his property. An enterprising young black man bought the house and the property, I believe, for $610. Nonetheless, we have the Shotgun House. We are in the process of furnishing it as it should be, down to calendars and the picture of Jesus with the little children, and we have the beds. The walls are being done with newspaper.
Now, what's the reason for that? Explain that.
Well, it's because a shotgun house was merely a structure, a dwelling. Of course, there was no electricity. It was a shelter from the storm. There were lots of cracks. And so this was for insulation. Newspapers were there. They would go out and collect the newspapers, and they would put them up on the wall with a glue paste of flour and water. I'm sure bugs came in quite frequently. But they did this for insulation. And you see some of the really spiffy homes today. Interior decorators are using copies of old newspapers, but this is where it came from these houses. And the Shotgun House, there will be the utilities in the kitchen. The Shotgun House was usually a two-room house. It was called a shotgun house because people said that you could shoot a shotgun straight through it and kill that old folks in it in one shot, you see.
What about some of the other houses here?
All right. Well, we have the doctor's office. This is not a house, but it is a doctor's office, getting back to the community. The doctor's office was built at the same time the Shotgun House was. It was Dr. Duncan's. The medical auxiliary from Montgomery, I can't pick the three counties. Anyway, 3 counties medical auxiliary are joining hands with Landmarks to put the instruments back into the doctor's office. We even have a buggy. So we'll do a little lean-to shed on the side and have the buggy at the side, and people will be able to go in and see what horrors happened back around that turn of the years, and the doctor's office. Then we have the Grange Hall. This came from Penn.
Okay. Okay.
Pick one up.
She's written books on ghosts.
Mm-hmm. Catherine Wyndham.
Catherine Wyndham and Margaret Fire wrote a book together, as a matter of fact. Even
That's
though
right.
She has written, of course, the separate, and she's the better known. We have an
we need a ghost. A church or something.
I think so too. I think that would be wonderful. You don't have to say there was a ghost. You can say that some people.
Okay.
Sounds good. Okay, we're talking about the Grange House.
Talking about the Grange. The Pentlala Grange Hall is one of our structures that is not yet finished. This, of course, was brought from Pentlala. The interesting part about this building is it was called the Grange Hall, and the Grange was a national farmers organization, and this was formed for social outlets and to diversify the farmers' lifestyles. It was a social thing, and one interesting part about it, it was one of the first organizations of its kind to recognize women's rights. They were members as well as their husbands, which I think is interesting for this part of the country, and in 1875 is when that was built. So,
I understand that you have a tavern as well on this block.
well, I'm saving the tavern for last because it's what I'm excited the most about. The tavern we found in Wall, Alabama, and it was built in 1818, and it's a man named Lucas owned the tavern. And Mr. Lucas had the great privilege of having for the evening Lafayette. Lafayette slept in the tavern. Now we have the tavern. It is going to be right on the corner. We had some thoughts of making it a tavern, again a tavern, and use it as such, but that was not feasible, so it will, when we finish it, it will be finished in October. When we finish it in October, we're going to have a grand celebration. To open the tavern, it will be the gift shop that we have, the slide room of tourist information. We will furnish a dining room as it was at that period. Then when people finish their tours, they will be able to sit in the dining room and have tea and cookies, this kind of thing. Celebration is going to be memorable, and we think, because we're going to have a contest, who will Lafayette be? Lafayette is going to return in all his splendor. He's going to come up in his carriage, walk up the stairs, and dedicate the tavern, and once again come in to Wall, which he did come into Montgomery, of course, later. We are going to furnish the front bedroom as Lafayette would have found it. The people of Montgomery were called on to take the furnishings for the tavern, which of course was very primitive, and they took out beautiful rugs and bowls and pitchers and things of this sort. So we will have the dining room and Lafayette's bedroom, and just a wonderful party. And after the celebration, it will be open for about 2 weeks to the public, and then we'll have to disassemble the bedroom. But this will climax hopefully a wonderful week. And all of this sort of ties in to our membership drive. And I am Vice President of Membership, as I'm sure you've said. We are trying so hard to create a spirit in landmarks by showing what we have and what we're doing in, as you say, the community. We want a new spirit and present the past, keep the memories that we have. And we hope by stimulating people with events and like the tavern and opening the Grange Hall, the Shotgun House, that we'll be able to do this. And without new members, we simply can't.
Let me ask you one final question. In the entire complex, with all of the houses that you now have in the community, what sort of person do you expect to attract to this downtown area and to the Landmarks Foundation?
I wouldn't say a person, because I think it is so varied. We've worked very hard to make it varied. We have the poverty, the very lowest of low, as you would say, around 1890 in the Shotgun House. And then we have some of the finer homes. So it really, there's something for everybody. I feel that it is.